What did you think of Drake's latest album?
It was it wasn't the there were a few bangers on it, but it was very low key, I think you could call it, right?
Women's Wrestling Talk, the number one women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the number one women's wrestling show on the planet.
You're watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the number one women's wrestling show on the planet. My name is TK Trinidad. I am the CEO and host of WWT, and I am not alone. She is the senior writer and host for WWT as well. Please welcome Nikki Bougie.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, and of course, nothing but amazing guests today, and today is no exception. This is the second time she's on the show. We are super excited. She is the first Knockouts Triple Crown winner and the current Impact Knockouts World Champion. Please welcome Jordynne Grace.
Hey, thanks for having me again.
Thanks for coming on. So, we always have to start with a very important question with you when you pop on. What did you think of Drake's latest album?
It wasn't there were a few bangers on it, but it was very low key, I think you could call it, right?
Yeah, it was interesting. And then the fact that Beyonce pretty much blew him out of the water 2 days later was just kind of like,
Yeah, it was because he didn't say anything. He just kind of released it out of nowhere, right?
Right.
Yes. There were definitely a couple of good bops on there, but it was very much what would you call it? People are saying the whiny Drake, but I want to say it nicer. What's the term?
It's more dance hall, hall music.
Better way to say it. But when people were saying the whiny Drake, I was like, yeah, I could see that, but I was trying to think of a nicer way to say it.
No, I think whiny Drake is that's it. We all know it's no shade. It's just kind of like he's this is not what dudes are going to be playing in their car on a summer day.
100%. They're not going to be blaring it out the window, right?
Yeah, it's not happening. So let's get the rest into it. Nikki, what do you got?
Listen, I'm the Impact Insider over here at Women's Wrestling Talk. Your first reign in Impact as a Knockouts World Champion was during the pandemic. So how does it feel now that you're champion with a live audience, a live crowd, and what's a little different?
Oh, everything is different. So yeah, like you just said, I won the title, and then a month later, we went to shut down the pandemic, and I didn't get that full experience. This is actually my second time doing media. So basically, I'm in Louisville right now. We've been doing this since 7 a.m. So this is I guess Josh was telling me this is the full champion experience, where literally you're just on the go for 2 days straight doing media. But I'm doing this, meeting a lot of new people. And then obviously fans are just it's so different because defending that title in front of no one sucked. And having the fans there just to be behind me and feeding off that energy, it's just completely different.
And then let's also put credit where credit is due. The fact that you're able to entertain us through the pandemic as a champion, that's to me, that's a company giving you we believe in you, because not everybody can do that. So kudos to you for for doing that, because it's not an easy task. Just talk to no one. It's interesting.
Thank you. And to be completely honest with you, every single thing I did when I was wrestling in front of no fans hurt so much more. There's no adrenaline. It was kind of just you couldn't be behind the curtain and hear the fans before you went out. It was just kind of all right, let's do this for the camera.
Well, like I said, definitely kudos to that. And so now, what were your initial thoughts going into Slammiversary and preparing for the first Queen of the Mountain match? I remember I saw an interview where you said that, all the girls were really, really nervous, which is not the usual thing for you guys. So in preparing for it, or did you prepare for it? What was that like?
It was honestly 95% mental, because we haven't done one of these matches in 6-7 years. And when they pitched it to us, I was just what is that? because I didn't even remember because it's been so long. And then once they told me, I went back and I watched all 12 of those past King of the Mountain matches. And one of the main things mentally that you have to like remember when you're structuring these matches is the rules and making it make sense, because Impact has had a lot of, you have the reverse battle royal that they came up with, the Ultimate X, and then you have the King of the Mountain match, which definitely I think has the most rules out of any Impact match they've ever come up with. I think a lot of people call it the reverse ladder match, actually, just with, I guess, more rules. And there was also a lot of unknowns in the match. Like there was, I think, there were a couple things that were a little bit off that we didn't even realize were going to happen until we got out to the ring. And there was something that I personally didn't know, which was that there was not a hook going to be on the thing that you hang the thing on. So when I was climbing the ladder, I had the belt wrapped, obviously. And so all the other matches besides one, I think there has been a hook. So you literally just go and hook it up there. And so when I saw it was just a straight bar, I was like, oh my God. So I had to undo the belt and like throw it over. And then I had it. And then I was like, do I need to like belt it up or clip it? And then I was like, no, it's fine. Just go with it. It's just live in the moment. And then later on, I found out that commentary was saying, oh, she has to clip on. And I was like, oh my God, we were not on the same page at all. And then also another thing was obviously like on Fight TV, there was the elimination timer probably on the screen. There was not that elimination timer on the Titantron on the actual show. So it was just like, oh, when is this person coming out? It was just like very, very, very difficult for those kind of things.
Definitely. And I'm pleased to say that I was there to watch you become the first ever Queen of the Mountain. And speaking of first, you've been in the first Iron Women's match. You were the first woman to compete in Ultimate X for when Trey was defending his X division championship. There's a lot of firsts. So I have a question. Are there any other firsts regarding the Knockouts division that you would like to see moving forward, especially as being champion?
Regarding the Knockouts division, let me think. What matches have we done? There is actually, I think this was done one time before. It was the King of the Mountain match combined with the Ultimate X match. So basically, it was, instead of hanging the belt, you had to hang the X, which I was like, it's such an interesting concept. So I would love for the Knockouts to do one of those, just because it sounds so cool. Like to have the X over it with the ladders. Like I think that would be a crazy match. I can't actually think about what else. I guess you could do a reverse battle royal with all the Knockouts, right? But that would just be a crazy match in general. But yeah, definitely just more. I want the Knockouts to completely like cover all of the matches that have been historically male dominated matches. Like I want us to do those.
Nice. And that's, I mean, the Impact Knockouts division has just been like, it's crazy, barring none. And I feel like people are now putting more respect on the brand. But it's like, it's been consistent. With that being said, the Knockouts division is stacked. So who do you think is your biggest competition? Who's gonna try? The keyword is try. Try you for that championship.
That's a good question. Let me think about this. Obviously, Mia Yim just got here very recently, and I've wrestled Mia Yim one time before. It was, I believe, 7 years ago, and I feel like over the past 7 years, obviously, we've both gained so much more experience and we've gotten so much better as wrestlers. So I feel like she might be the number one threat right now.
That's very interesting, because speaking of Mia Yim, we've seen her, we've seen Gia Miller, we've seen Alicia Edwards, and we've even seen Gail Kim on some of your Instagram reels. I stalk your Instagram all the time because it's so funny. You make some of the funniest reels. How is the dynamic in the locker room?
Oh, I mean, I feel completely comfortable there. Everybody talks to everybody. It's not like everybody has like a click off to the side or anything like that. So, all the girls are constantly trying to help each other and talk to each other and give advice when someone asks. Like, I personally love our locker room because of that. Like, I just feel safe and comfortable, and I think that's very important in what we're doing, because we're kind of putting each other's lives in the other's hands when we're going out there wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, your locker room, like, I feel like it speaks to the truth. Like the fact that you can date, like, have these ladies on your Instagram, it speaks to that you have this cohesiveness in the locker room, opposed to, some other promotions. You don't really see that too often. You might see it with two or three ladies, but yeah, again, I don't necessarily stalk it as much as Nikki does, but I did stalk your Instagram and I'm seeing a lot of different women there. So, definitely kudos to that. With that being said, if you were to go after the Impact's Knockout World Tag Team Championship, who would you pick as a partner?
So obviously, I've already held that belt one time with Rachel Ellering. Who would I pick now? Who would be good? Honestly, I haven't given that any thought at all. To be completely honest with you, I've been so focused on this world title, this Knockouts World title. I don't know. Who do you guys think? Because I want to hear your.
Okay, I'm glad you asked, because I gotta know. Would you add Gia Miller into the mix?
Did you ever see me and Gia wrestle? We wrestled before.
Yeah.
Okay, so actually, I do think that would be interesting, because I think that she has a lot of potential. Like we had a good match for we did the IPWF, and I was Georgia Cobb, obviously, and I forget what her name was, but something crazy. And we had a really good match. So I feel like definitely if she was given more opportunities, she would definitely take them and run with it.
Definitely, because I love Gia Miller. I know we see her more doing the backstage stuff, but on the indies, she does wrestle sometimes. So I think y'all would be a great pairing. But we spoke about Gail Kim a little earlier, so I want to know, how is it having such a legend in the game being involved in the division, especially now that you're holding the championship?
It's so awesome, not just because she's a legend, which obviously she is, but because she believes so much in our locker room. Like, she really has been instrumental in helping me get to where I am right now. Like, she is someone who, when I first got to Impact, she had, the laundry list of critiques of stuff I needed to improve on. And obviously, when I first got there, I really didn't have a lot of television experience. So I was almost a little discouraged when I came to the back and she had like this crazy amount of stuff that I needed to work on. But that ended up helping me in the long run, because look where I am now.
Mm-hmm. There it is. Yeah. Shout out to Gail. She's absolutely amazing. Is there like one piece of advice that she's given you that like sticks with you no matter what throughout your career?
100%. When I first got to Impact, I had kind of like a different kind of intensity, I guess. It was a quiet intensity, and she kept telling me to bring that out, to be more intense in the ring. And I just started screaming during my matches. And I think, and she was like, I love that. I want more of that. And she would always tell me, I would think I was giving it 100% in my first matches. And then she was like, no, you need to do it more. You need to like do it as loud as you can. And now I scream constantly in matches. I'm being so intense 24/7. Like, I come to the back and my voice is gone 90% of the time because I'm screaming so loud.
It's so funny that you say that, because I remember watching your match with Matt Cardona and you literally giving out this big yelp. So I got to know, during your feud with Matt Cardona, during the Digital Media Championship run as well, what were some of your favorite moments during that?
Oh, man. Honestly, so it's really funny. I never expected to work so well with Matt Cardona. I was actually his first singles intergender match ever, and I was so nervous about it because obviously, when these guys come from WWE, you don't know what they're going to be like, especially when they have to do an intergender match for the first time. You don't know, like, if they're going to want to, take bumps for you, what's going to happen. And thankfully, he was like the easiest person to work with. And all of our ideas, they meshed so well together. He didn't have like an ego when I suggested anything. And I really appreciated that and respected that. And we ended up having like a crazy wrestling chemistry. Like, I was very surprised. And I was talking to Chelsea about this. I was like, it's so weird because you can never really expect those people that you have chemistry with. Like, I would never have in a million years expected that, because I grew up watching him as a kid, and just from seeing his character on WWE to Impact, just like it was a surreal experience. I can't even put it into words, but I'm just so happy that we were able to work together. But I'm sorry, I'm not even answering your question. Some of my
No, you're fine, because honestly, I love like y'all's feud. Me and my tag team partner here at Women's Wrestling Talk, Santana, we went back and watched y'all's matches, and I was like, they have the craziest chemistry in the ring. Like, I enjoyed it. One of my favorite feuds, honestly, besides you and Deanna, of course, but one of my favorite feuds.
And really, me and Matt beat the shit out of each other. Like, we were laying it in. Like, it was insane how hard we were hitting each other. And we would come to the back, and Scott, our boss, would be like, Jesus Christ, like, y'all really just kicked each other's ass. Especially during our last match, that dot combat match. I will never feel a pain like I felt when he hit. Like, and it was the loudest slap, and it really felt like, oh my God, it was like a giant just came down and just slapped me as hard as he could in the back.
Yikes. Well, I mean, the great thing, it's all recorded, it's all filmed, because you have some of those matches, especially now, not as much on the indie scene anymore either, but where, you be on the indies and you have these great matches, and you can't find it anywhere. So, kudos, you have it there, and, those matches were really great matches. So now I have another important question for you. You have 5 dogs. The first question is, are you going to be adding another dog? And the second question, which one is your favorite?
Oh my God. So please, knock on wood, we do not need another dog. We didn't need 4 dogs, much less 5 dogs. Like, it's an insane amount at this point. But the last 2 were kind of rescues, so I definitely feel like we needed to take them in. I couldn't just give them up. But oh man, who is my favorite? They're all my favorite for different reasons, but this new one, he actually is probably he's the sweetest. Like, he sleeps under the covers, like, at night, and he sleeps like in your legs or in between the crook of your knee. And the best thing about him is that all my other dogs at like 5:30 in the morning, they will wake me up, stand on my face, like lick me, wake me up 30 minutes before my alarm. But this guy, it's almost like he doesn't even want to wake up. He's the last one to get out of bed. You'll all be off the bed, and you'll look over, and he'll just be like curled up under the blankets. You just see his little body. But I'm like, hey, are you ready? And he's just like, you could see him stretch out and yawn and just slowly reveal himself in the covers. But he's definitely like, because it's kind of like kids. You can't like really pick your favorite, but he's definitely like right now my favorite.
There it is. There it is. And then one last question before we get out of here. I saw, again, stalking your Instagram, you and your husband like posted, and obviously like you guys are major careers, but 2 different promotions, traveling a lot. You make it work. So what's the secret?
Oh man. The secret really is just finding time. Like, obviously, because you're gonna put forward what's important in your life, right? Like, you're always gonna make time for what's important, and obviously we're very important to each other. So no matter if it's a 5-minute phone call after a show, or we set aside a day to just be together, like, that's really what makes it work. So no matter if he's like right now, he actually left a day before me, and I'm getting home a day after him. So it's going to be Monday through Friday, basically apart. And I know we've already scheduled out Saturday to just be together. So I think like taking that time is very important.
Nice, nice, nice. With that being said, thank you so much for hopping on. Where can everybody find you? Your pictures are fire, by the way, so everybody should be following you. But where can everybody find you if they're not? Oh, Nikki has something.
Well, we feature you. You're always in our category. We do a show called Turnbuckle Glam every Sunday, and you're always in our Gym Hotties category. So I just want to let you know that. Yeah, no problem. You take the best gym photos.
I got some new outfits, so you just wait. I got some good ones.
Hey, I'm waiting.
But you can follow me any social media platform at Jordynne Grace. You guys probably have my name spelled here somewhere, but it's JORDYNNE. Grace is spelled normally, and I hope to talk to you guys on one of those platforms.
Thank you so, so much. And, here's to Drake putting out a better gym version album in the future. Thank you so, so much. And, congratulations on the reign. We look forward to seeing amazing things with a crowd. And I'm sure Nikki will be at one of those shows screaming her head off. So,
I'm there next Saturday, Louisville, Kentucky. And I'm there, Dallas.
Oh,
I thought
okay.
I was going to miss.
Go.
So, I'm there. And I was there Slammiversary and for the taping. I'm there. I'm literally calling out of my job for next week.
That's awesome. Wait to see you next. Sounds good.
There it is. Thank you so, so much, and have a wonderful rest of the day.
Have a good one, guys.
All right, bye. Oh my God, Jordynne Grace, she's like everything. She is awesome. I am so happy for her. What do you think? The resident impact, what do we say, connoisseur? What's the name?
Impact Insider. I don't know. I don't know. I'm getting some names together. I got to figure it out. But no, it was awesome. She really opened up about a lot of stuff, and I popped. I love Matt Cardona, so I definitely popped during that. I thought that was very interesting, and I thought it was very cool that she started yelling. I thought that was really cool because it does intensify the match for me. I love it, honestly.
Yeah, there's a fine balance. Like, I feel like I think I can't remember what show. We were talking about like Carmella, and there was one point where she was yelling, but it was, I don't know if it was like the right way, but it seemed like the very wrong way. Like, it was like it didn't fit with the match. And now she does it, but it's a lot different. Like, it seemed like she was yelling because she was frustrated because the skill level, and I might be reading into it, but now like her skill has improved, and it's like whatever is happening, like it makes sense. So definitely agree with that. And then, I mean, having Gail as a mentor, like she's I compare her and when I met Jazz, like they have this quiet, like I know some people don't like this term, but like auntie type, like whatever they say is,
or like a big sis.
Yeah, like whatever they say, like you take it to heart. Like it Gail like messes with you and remembers you. Like that's a good thing because she's met so many people over the years and all this other
stuff. And I
stuff.
feel like that about Mickie James too, because after the taping, Mickie James comes over and she gives me a hug and she knows my name, and I'm like, hold on now, this is crazy, because I wasn't the biggest Mickie James fan when I was growing up. Of course, I feel like that's how it was booked. You don't like the heels. As I got older, I started to appreciate more of the work. And it's funny because we saw Jazz walking up at WrestleCon and she saw us, and it felt like she knew who we were, even though she didn't. But it did feel like that kind of feel where it's like, whatever she says, I'm going to listen to, because she has way more experience and way more time in the game than I do. So I definitely agree. Definitely.
Yeah. So as far as Jordynne, what do you think this reign is going to look like? And how long do you think it's going to be for?
Mia Yim is probably going to be the one to take it off of her. I don't know.
Sooner or later? I
think it's going to be later. I probably like Bound for Glory, October 7th, maybe. I think Jordynne is probably going to get a lengthy reign, though. Of course, there's a match between Deonna Purrazzo and Mia Yim. So we'll just have to wait to see that. But I think Mia Yim is going to be probably one of her first competitors. I don't see Tasha Steelz leaving away from that title. I think that she's going to try to continue to climb her way up the ranks once again, and probably make herself way. But if I had to pick someone, I want to see Giselle Shaw. I know she's been in tags, I know she's been in factions and stuff like that, but that girl is incredible in the ring, and she's held a title before, Progress Women's Champion as well. I believe she's still the champion, but I'm not sure. But I would love to see her as Knockouts World Champion down the road. honestly.
That's a great thing about Impact too. It's like they use I mean, correct me if I'm wrong because you watch it like 100% of the time, but it seems like they use every single knockout. Like even when Jordan lost
Mhm.
the championship, you could see her making her way to the top. Like it made sense. It's like
And
anything. Every empire
even if
must
they're not
fall.
in like a match, they're in a feud. You know,
Hmm.
we Havoc is not there, but she's still in a feud.
Right.
Masha has Tennille Dashwood, who she's working with. Giselle Shaw and Madison Rain are together. Deanna and Chelsea are now tagged. Mickey James is still roaming around. You know,
Hmm.
so and then even with Maria Kanellis, like she's in she's not even involved in the actual concept of the division yet she's still a prevalent character,
Hmm.
with Honor No More. So I think that they do a phenomenal job, and I wish that hopefully AEW can get to this point. I'm starting to see it a little bit, but with the Knockouts division, everyone is being used, even Gail. We
Yeah.
see Gail talking in the back to Scott, or she was involved with Trey Miguel getting his match with Steve Macklin. She was involved with Josh Alexander and everything that was going on with him, even with Moose and Sammy Callahan. So I think that that's what we want to see, because I'm more of how can I put this? I'm more of a I like wrestling. I like
Hmm.
pure technical wrestling. I don't really care about a story. A story's nice, but I think a story keeps a lot of people. For me, we don't get any of the stories at the tapings. None. They Unless it's a live show, they'll cut to the back with Gia Miller, they'll give us an
Right.
interview. When I went to the taping, I had no idea why Giselle Shaw was with the influence. I had no idea why Tennille was attacking uh Taya Valkyrie. Did I
Hmm.
care? Absolutely not. I just waited on to watch the show to see what would
Right.
happen, and because I love pure wrestling, and that's what you get with Impact.
Yeah. No, I am the opposite. I love a good story because I
Mhm,
think for me, I remember the wrestling more. It's like it's this good
mhm.
story, then you remember the story, and then you remember the match, and then it kind of all coincides. But also being to Impact tapings, the story doesn't matter as much. Like it is great wrestling, and then the crowds are. I mean, as far as I can speak of, I went to. I don't think they have been to Los Angeles, but I went to the Vegas shows quite a few times, and the crowds have been amazing.
Well, Tasha
Yeah,
still says the best crowds are down here in the South. So I mean, and it's
look,
true. We will literally go. There are a lot of people that go to wrestling just to go, like just because it's in town. Like
right.
a lot of people that go to the shows don't even watch on a weekly basis, but they're hyped because down here, SEC, we got the Vols, we got the Bulldogs, we got the Bama, we got Florida Gators. We go crazy, especially when it comes to college. So when
Hmm.
we see like young talent wrestling, we're like, oh, we're gonna go because like it's competitive. We're competitive nature. So I I don't know if they're gonna. Tasha Steeles had said something on her live yesterday that made me feel like they're gonna stay in the South for a while, because they just
Hmm.
did Nashville, they did Atlanta, we're in Louisville next week, and then they're in Dallas in August.
Hmm.
But they're going to Chicago in August as well. So I don't know if they're gonna try to see if things work out. And then there was a rumor circulating that Bound for Glory is looking for the Northeast, but
Oh, okay.
I think they should just come back to Nashville and just stay. Of course,
Of
for
course,
those that
of
don't
course you
know,
do.
they they did almost the whole pandemic, if not the whole pandemic,
In
at
Nashville.
Skyward State Studios in Nashville. And the first day that they let fans back in, I went to the show, and it was absolutely amazing. So if you haven't checked out an Impact show, you really need to go, because honestly,
Yeah.
they have some of the best live events ever, besides
Yeah,
maybe GCW.
and they make it and I love a good WWE show as well. However, when you go to there's is a big difference between WWE live shows versus the tape shows for like Raw and
Mhm.
SmackDown. It's and the one I went to AEW is the same thing. When you have those live taping shows that's going directly to, the viewers, you can't enjoy the experience as much because the wrestlers legitimately stop for commercials, like, and it just takes away like, the like it really makes it like, and it don't come after me, it really makes it like, okay, well, this is really scripted as we know,
Yeah.
but to stop for the commercial like makes it even more like, okay.
And normally
So
in the commercials, like I've only been to one WWE show as an adult, and I went to SmackDown, and they were doing like dark matches or entrances or crowd giveaways and stuff like that, and it just takes away. Like I, as much as I will forever probably watch WWE, I don't know if I will actually go to like a actual like event. I have noticed, and even I've noticed this with Impact too. I'm more of a bigger fan of the tapings because they're more intimate.
mhm.
And I feel like the live shows are just so chaotic. There's always a lot of things going on. They move at a rapid pace, no commercials, especially with Impact. Um, they might show they might show the people watching at home like a clip of something. I know Slammiversary, there were different things going on and stuff. But for me, like I want to go to like a WWE live event because I feel like it's just going to be more personable and just more like I like that intimate kind of not underground wrestling, but just more close. And
Yeah.
I've grown to have um, relationships with people like Trey, people like Deanna, Chelsea. We speak and we talk a lot, and it's just more. I like watching them more, like because TK, you haven't seen how I get at live events,
I don't think I want to
um,
see.
but
I don't think I
I go
want to see.
crazy. Like I'm so competitive. So when Trey or Deanna or Chelsea are in the ring, it's like Tasha too. Like I scream, I lose my voice. I don't care. I'm there for the competition of it, and I think that everyone should at least go to different promotions. I've had the
Yeah.
chance to go to NWA this year, Impact, WWE, AEW, and now I'm going to GCW. Now we're doing the last match for Ric Flair. And so I think it's so important to see what's your niche because
Mhm.
by far my favorite is Impact,
Yeah.
obviously.
No, I do love Impact, but also like like what you're saying with the live ones that are not taped for shows.
Yeah.
You're with WWE in particular, you're gonna see things. They're a little bit more freer. I remember I went to and on top of that too, you get better seats. Like if you're not trying to break the
Hmm.
bank, you get better seats. I went to a SmackDown show, and I was legitimately in the front row. It was a house show, and this is a while ago. It's like the Usos and New Day were feuding. That's how long ago it was. And it's so crazy. The next day, I went to a taping with Xbox. So that was maybe 2018. And so the
Yeah.
Usos came backstage to where the food is, catering, and they're like, "We
Hmm.
saw you yesterday," and it was so crazy that like you can have those, like, it's like, why didn't you say anything? I was like, I didn't know I could say anything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just like I didn't know I could say anything. So it's so crazy that maybe they noticed a little bit more. That'd probably be a good question to ask somebody. The difference between like the live versus the taping. Maybe
Yeah.
they can notice a little bit more, all that stuff. But I definitely prefer that. But in LA, the stars come out for those Raw shows. So I do like that aspect when I can get a hold of tickets because mama ain't paying for those ones. So other than that, where can everybody find you? The resident Impact
Um,
insider.
You can catch me every Thursday nights live tweeting on the WW Talk Pod page. You can catch me on my personal page at Nikki Bougie. That's NICKIEBOOSHIE. That's Instagram and Twitter. I've been doing this too long now, TK. And then also you can check out our post shows, please. I will be on post shows on Thursday nights and Monday nights as well. Live, we are live exclusively. I don't know why you asked me about myself and then I make it about women's wrestling talk because that's just how it is. We are live exclusively on Twitch. Okay, so make sure you like and subscribe. But yeah, if you I always give the disclaimer. If you don't like Charlotte Flair, don't come on my Twitter page. She follows me on Instagram and Twitter. Does your fave follow you? Okay, before you come to my page and do all that hate and miss. Okay. I'm always honored to be here with the CEO, the TK, the Canadian assassin herself, all the way from California. Woo! It's been a day.
It has been a day and it's just getting started. So thank you so much. Like Nikki was saying, definitely go and check out our social media page, WW Talk pod. Check out our website, www.talkpod.com. We have articles dropping all the time. And definitely check out everything live exclusively on Twitch. And starting in the next 2 weeks, we're going to have even more stuff that you can see on our social media pages and all that good stuff. So definitely be on the lookout like that. We are constantly growing, constantly exploding, and we're just going to have more for you in 2022. Other than that, my name is TK Trinidad. You can follow me on everything at TK Trinidad. Till next time, guys, thank you guys for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.